Welcome to the G.L.O.E podcast. G.L.O.E stands for God, Life, Outreach, and Encouragement. I'm your host, Angel. This isn't a podcast where we pretend to have it all together. It's a place where faith meets real life. We'll talk about the victories, the struggles, the healing, the hard questions, and the lesson God teaches us through every season. Through honest conversations and inspiring stories, my prayer is that every episode helps you grow in your relationship with God, find hope in the middle of life's challenges, and be encouraged to walk confidently in the purpose He has for you. If you've been hanging around for a while, welcome back. And if this is your first time joining, welcome to the G.L.O.E family. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, everyone. I am back and I am so excited to be back. So before we jump into today's episode, I want to start off with a Bible verse that I feel like fits this situation, fits me taking a break and coming back. So to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. So again, welcome back. If you're a new listener, welcome and thanks for joining. If you've been patiently waiting for me to come back, I really appreciate it and just appreciate you sticking it out. So since it's been a while since I've been around, I think my last episode was in November. So yeah, it's been almost a year. 2026 is definitely flying by and going at rapid speed here, but I want to reintroduce myself. I am Angel. I'm host of G.L.O.E, which stands for God, Life, Outreach, and Encouragement. The motto here is Glow Boldly, Live Purposefully. And I started this podcast in 2023, and it originally started out as the Modco podcast. And then last year in 2025, I rebranded to G.L.O.E, which originally stood for God, Life, Organization, and Entrepreneurship, because when I first started my podcast, it was about organization and entrepreneurship. So that's where that came from. But while I was on my break, I decided that that just didn't go with the vibe that I was looking for anymore. I knew that I wanted to change the O and the E because I didn't want the focus to be on organization and entrepreneurship. I feel like the podcast has become so much more than that and has kind of grown beyond that. So I wanted something that fits what it is now and what I'm praying that it will continue to be and be in the future and going forward. So I had no clue what to do with the O and the E. It was really hard. But finally, after a lot of asking God and researching, and then my son taking over and telling me, trust your kid, I came up with what I have now, which is God, Life, Outreach, and Encouragement. And I really just feel like that fits the vibe of the show and what I am going for going forward in this podcasting world. But the time that I took off, it was much needed. And I thought about this podcast and I thought about you all a lot. Anytime I was going through something, I would think to myself that there's someone else out there that's going through this or something similar, and I really need to get back to podcasting. And I just kept putting it off and putting it off. And then finally, I got my ducks into a circle because they are not in a row. And I just don't think they'll ever be in a row. But at least I have them gathered all in the same vicinity and they know who is who. So I started back writing episodes. And when I started back writing episodes, I realized that what part of my issue was and why I got burnt out before was because I lost focus with podcasting and I lost focus of what my purpose was supposed to be. When I started off in 2023, I knew nothing about podcasting. I just knew that I wanted to start a podcast. And at that time, I was trying to get my side hustle as a virtual assistant off the ground. So that's where the organization and the entrepreneurship came from. And I started out with one episode per week, then I went to two and I got burnt out. So I went back to one. And then I just started trying to be too mainstream and trying to do everything. And that's just not me. The podcast was supposed to be a hobby, something fun for me to do. But like all of my other hobbies, I tried to turn it into a business. And that's where I just really lost focus. I started trying to do merch and memberships and posting about each episode 7 to 8 times on various different platforms, turning episodes into blogs, all the things that they tell you have to do. in order to get your podcast out there. And I was burnt out and it was causing me to lose focus. And honestly, if I had to just sit down and really thought about it, I got more listeners on my podcast when I would just post about it on Facebook instead of doing all the 8,000 things that they told me to do. Everything is not for everybody and everything doesn't work for everybody. And I found that lesson out the hard way. This happens so much in life that we take something and we try to turn it into something else. And maybe it is supposed to be something else, but at that time, it's not supposed to be. And we're trying to rush the process instead of just taking it slowly. We don't take the time to nurture it and let it blossom. And then we get frustrated when we feel like nothing's happening. So I'm over with that. I am done with it. I'm going back to the basics of the show, recording episodes and praying that the episodes reach the people that it needs to reach. If I feel like posting it on social media, I'll post it on social media. If I don't feel like posting on social media, I'm not going to sit here and stress myself out about it. But I did start slipping even before I got the first episode out. So I'm a planner. I like to have things together. I felt like I needed to have at least 10 episodes planned out and recorded. So I was writing episodes or I'd come up with an idea for one and I get the title to it, then I get a brain block and I couldn't think of anything to write, so I kept postponing. I originally wanted to get the podcast back out in July. I don't know why, but for the past few years, I felt like July is just my regroup, rebirth, everything's coming together month. And I kept telling myself, you need to get this ready by July, but I kept putting it off. Then when I finally recorded the first episode and re-recorded my intro, I couldn't find the original music that goes behind the intro. I couldn't find that anywhere. So I started freaking out about that because I was like, now what am I supposed to do? Then on top of that, I had technical difficulties when I was recording. And this all happened after I had made the post about season 2 coming soon. I had actually picked the release date for it. It just seemed like one thing after another kept happening, and I just kept postponing, kept making excuses, and telling myself, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. I was about to give up before I even got started again. But I didn't, and here I am learning to take things one crisis at a time. So, y'all, please give me some grace as I get back into the swing of things and just trying to figure some stuff out. On my last episode before my break, way back in November, which seems like years and years ago, that I was going to start doing seasons. So this is the first episode of season 2 of Glow. I'm planning to do about 10 to 12 episodes per season with maybe a 4 to 6 week break in between. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to do that yet. As I said, still working out all the fundamentals and all the things of it. But this will allow me to plan and to not get overwhelmed while also still continuing to bring you all quality content. I just want to say again, thank you to everyone that stuck around and patiently waited for me to come back. Thank you to all of those who are tuning in for the first time. I am looking so forward to season 2 and what it's going to entail and what it's going to bring. So the show will still be airing on Wednesday, so you can still expect new episodes every Wednesday to come out. They will be released at midnight. So if you're a night owl and can't fall asleep, look out for the episode to drop at midnight and check it out, and then you can share it with all of your friends and family and they can have it by the time they wake up. But again, I am just happy to be back and looking forward to these things. All right, until next time, continue to glow boldly and live purposefully. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Glow. If today's episode spoke to you, please leave a review and share it with a friend, family member, or anyone who could use a little encouragement. Every share helps this message reach someone who needs it.